when we jumped out of the aeroplane, parachuted down onto the FPSO, then dove into the channel to get shots of the underwater drilling. It wasn't just the sexy drilling, part of it. It was more, okay, how did these people get to do what they are doing? And that for us was, I think, the best part of the documentary process. The first person was John Moore, so Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell's story, when you see a little of it in the documentary, but when you listen to his full story, this is someone who has bootstrapped, from almost nothing and gotten to where he is today as a logistics support company. So the second person was Jeff from Cross Energy. His story was also really, really exciting. He more or less sort of like starts the whole documentary. The timeline of the events of his journey is the timeline we worked with within the storytelling of the documentary. So you see him from the very beginning, his early childhood, his midlife occupation as a trader, and then on to what he's now doing, within Ghana's oil and gas industry. So those two people, their stories really stood out for me. When we actually did start filming, major drilling activities had actually ended. So for a lot of the contractors, there was nothing actually going on in terms of the services that they were providing. They were doing more desk-related, jobs, work, and all. So that was the first major challenge that we had. How do we tell a story without the visuals to go with it, So we very quickly had to now think about finding real stories, the human stories behind these organizations, as opposed to what they were doing or showing what they were really about. For me, it's really the idea that a group of people can imagine that they can find value deep in the ground, miles and miles through ocean, through rock, and then bring that out and then be able to put the people, the technology, all the things together to actually create value, not just for themselves, but also for individuals like the peoples whose stories you see in the documentary, the communities around, and even for someone like me who gets to tell the stories of some of these things. For me, that was just amazing.